Call to order the Effingham County Board of Commissioners meeting. It's October 17, 2017 at 5 o'clock. I'm going to ask Ms. Stephanie Johnson, our clerk, if she would introduce our special guest tonight, and I believe one of them is going to lead us in the pledge, and they will do that immediately after Mr. Loper leads us in the invocation. But if you would introduce our guest tonight, I appreciate it.
Okay, so we have a change? We have a change?
You have a change?
Yes. Our guest tonight is doing both the invocation and the pledge.
Right, but I was told before that.
We're changing. Okay.
Have a change, yes.
Gotcha. Yes, sir. Yes, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, tonight we have visitors from our 4-H programs from ECHS. Ms. Rose Moss, who is in the 12th grade. She serves as the Vice President of Public Relations and Information for the Effingham 4-H leadership team, and she stays involved in 4-H programs on the county, district, and state level. She is a Georgia 4-H certified team leader and spends much of her time working with and encouraging younger 4-H members. Rose is a master 4-H'er in the sports project and a great example of a true leader. She is representing the 4-H this afternoon and leading us in our pledge after the invocation.
You all stand for the invocation.
Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for this beautiful day. We thank you for the commissioners. We thank you for staff. We thank everybody in the audience that's taking interest in what we do here at Effingham County Commissioners meeting. We pray that you will lead us and direct us today and every day. We ask this in Christ's name. Amen. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. And we have some other guests, and we'll release the other club as well.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Tonight we have with us the Georgia Civic Awareness Program Group for Students, acronym for DCAPS. The Georgia Civic Awareness Program for Students was developed to address the need of increased civic involvement and awareness among the state's youth and engage them to become the next generation of civic leaders. We have Ms. Candace Nelson, if you'd like to come to the podium.
Good afternoon. My name is Candace Nelson and I'm the 4-H program assistant, but tonight I'm here for the Effingham County GCAPS program. The Georgia Civic Awareness Program for Students was developed to address the need for increased civic involvement and awareness among the state's youth and engage them to become the next generation of civic leaders. The program is dedicated to educating our young citizens about the importance of being actively conscious of their local government environment and the opportunities available in the public sector. GCAPS provides civic education by exposing youth to the role that local government plays and by introducing them to the leaders who make governments work. GCAPS is designed to provide students with the opportunity to learn firsthand the roles and services that Effingham County government provides. Throughout the course of the program, our GCAPS participants will take part in team building exercises, attend this Board of Commissioners meeting, meet county officials, tour different county facilities, and interact with local county officials. Tonight, I'm here to recognize the 2017-2018 GCAPS class. We have Tommy Bieber, you just stand, Mara Evans, Curry Harris, Micah Nix, I don't think she's here, Raphael Osala, Eric Robinson, Avery Spradley, and Jessica Hillis.
We appreciate you participating with us tonight in this meeting. Someone once said the only thing for evil to exist is for good people to do nothing. So a lot of people get involved in boards like this. These people on this board like to make a difference. And they believe they can make a difference. And hopefully we'll see that same difference as you grow older. You'll maybe be sitting up here one day as well, or a higher office. Good to have you. Thank you so much.
Mr. Chairman, if I can add one more thing. The information I handed out to you earlier, on the back of that sheet, it lists a schedule of different county facilities, offices that they'll be visiting, and it gives those dates.
Very good. Quite busy, it looks like. I apologize tonight, I have a cold, I'm trying not to breathe on anybody or shake anybody's hand. So forgive me if my voice gets a little bit weak, just wave at me and I'll lean back into the mic so we can hear together real well. As we move down to, first we have the approval of the agenda. As we move down to this tonight, consideration for a resolution to approve the agenda and understand we need to add item number 11. We'd add that to your agenda. Consideration to approve the chairman and an alternate to accept the annuity quote for the defined benefit plan. Do I have a motion to accept the agenda?
Mr. Chairman, I've got a change I need to make or suggest making. On item number 2, on the planning board section, it references the 1st district. Harry Lindsay Road is in the 3rd district, because item 3 is the second reading, and that is listed correctly in the 3rd district.
Okay, so item number 2, public hearing, change that to the 3rd district.
Yes, sir. Move that from 1st district to 3rd district.
And it is correct in 3 items. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, item 2 to the next one.
Thank you, sir. So do I have a motion to approve the agenda with the addition of one item and correction on public hearing item number 2?
I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman. We have one other item that is requested to be tabled on this agenda that is under new business number.
Yeah, I was going to table that when we got to it. It's a part of the.
You don't want to do it at the agenda? That's fine, however you want to do it. There's no one here for it.
All right,
To
well,
hear.
let me rephrase that. Then item number 1 to table tonight is the item number 4, insurance, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
The administration wants to seek some additional information prior to bringing it to our consideration. So the motion, if I have one, would be to approve the agenda with the addition of number 11, the table of item number 4, and the correction to planning board item number 2 in the 3rd district.
Chairman, I have one other correction on new business number 7. I believe that should say water/sewer, not water/travel.
I'm not sure. Is that correct?
Okay. Then I misunderstood.
I think it's the word department, and she doesn't travel. I think when it comes to it, spread it out. Okay. And then you state the motion, you got it. A motion to approve the agenda without statement.
So,
Second.
Motion by Mr. Kiefer, second by Mr. Deloach. To approve the agenda the way the chairman read it. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. We have our agenda. I'll see if I can move through the correct agenda. Minutes, consideration to approve the minutes of the October 3rd, 2017 regular commissioners meeting. I have read those minutes. They appear to be an active reading. Any corrections, additions?
I'll make a motion to approve as presented.
second.
Motion by Mr. Deloach to approve, second by Mr. Loper. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, no. The minutes are approved. Appreciate the public being here tonight. Ask you if you would keep your comments to the agenda items only, if you could, to help us to expedite the agenda this evening. You keep your comments to 2 or 3 minutes. That helps others who might want to comment on the item. That would be very helpful. All the documents from this meeting, or for this meeting, were located in the clerk's office. If you had a chance to look at that, they're also on our website. Anybody can see whose car that is and have them move it up or back. I have got a sun right in my eyes. I close the door, that'd be great. Can you see my Jim? That's perfect. Let me see if I can read, not having sunspots. We did the appearance already, so we'll move to our consent agenda, consideration to approve the sewage permit for Deanne Gordon to close the road in Royal Oak subdivision to through traffic on October 31st, 2017 for Halloween trick or treat.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion from Mr. Deloach, second by Mr. Floyd to approve the consent agenda. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, no. Motion carries. For our young people, my consent agenda, those items that we are consenting to, we're not going to discuss or ask any questions about it. Sometimes we have 4 or 5 items you can throw there, and it makes the meeting go a little faster. Moving into old business, I'm still seeing some spots. Consideration to accept 2 proposals. That's not housing money, it's just consideration to accept 2 proposals and issue 2 pre-bid contracts for disaster debris removal services.
Good evening, Fiona Charlton, purchasing agent. The county had 2 pre-event contracts in place for disaster debris removal services, one of which was activated in 2016 for Hurricane Matthew. Due to the many changes in the FEMA-GEMA regulations, staff decided to rebid the services to ensure that all the new regulations are met. An RFP was issued and 5 proposals were received. The bid tab is in your packet. After review, staff determined that Cerise Environmental Services and Crona Golf offer the best overall services for the county. No funding is required for the pre-event contracts unless an activation change order is approved by the board in the event of a declared emergency. The pre-event contracts allow for 3 optional 1-year renewals unless terminated by either party with 30 days written notice. The pre-event contracts have been reviewed and approved by the county attorney, therefore staff recommends alternative 1. Any questions?
I assume the reason we didn't recommend the SDR is we weren't satisfied with them last year, is that right?
That is correct. And FEMA says that we have to go, in fact, with the lowest bidder, which is Cerise.
I thought the SDR was more better than the other. But I saw it's 893, the other 71, 1224.
Crota it goes, Cerise is the lowest, and then SDR is the next, and, Cerise is the lowest, SDR is the next, and Crota is the next one. So we're not considering SDR.
Just make sure I understood that. Okay. Any discussion from the commission? Questions?
Make a motion to approve order number 1.
Second.
Mr. Logan made the motion to approve alternate 1, second Mr. Deloach. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carries.
Thank you.
New business, consideration to approve the second reading of an ordinance to adopt Article 3, Section 60, Chapter 66, solid waste of the Effingham County Code for ordinance. I don't know that we can read through that ordinance again, so second reading, do you have a motion to approve the second
Make a
reading?
motion to approve the second reading.
Second.
Motion from Mr. Deloach, second Mr. Logan to approve the second reading of the ordinance to adopt Article 3, Chapter 56, solid waste of the Effingham County Code of ordinances. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. And we have our ordinance in place. Thank you. Item number 2, consideration to approve a resolution to transmit the fiscal year 2017 capital improvement element update to the Georgia Department of Community Affairs.
Yes, sir. Each year, we have to file this with the DCA. Normally, we would have already gotten a reply back from them giving us, different stipulations. We have not gotten that yet. So we ask either to table this tonight or for the board to give approval for those transmittals to be signed as they come back from the DCA by the chairman, i.e. we would not be changing any documents. We would simply be approving those resolutions that you already have in hand just when the DCA comes back. And then putting it back on the agenda after to make sure that the board sees everything.
If we're going to put it back on the agenda, we'll make a motion to table tonight and just do it all at
Okay.
once. Agreeable?
That's fine. We were just trying to get it signed simply because of the fact that that is our qualified status and it perhaps may invoke our qualified status. So we wanted to have those documents signed as quickly as we get an email from DCA.
We'll be okay unless somebody
Okay.
does something DCA is not going to.
We just want to make the board aware.
Next meeting or the meeting after, or how much time do you need? Next meeting?
Usually they reply pretty quickly, so hopefully we'll get something back in the next week or so. They're usually minor changes, and it's nomenclature for the most part, so we're hoping to get it back pretty soon.
Have somebody do a follow-up email.
we will. And the clerk and I spoke today about it, so.
Motion to table, be what meeting?
November 3rd.
November 3rd. Have a motion to table item number 2 to November 3rd meeting.
So,
Motion by Mr. Kiefer, second by Mr. Roach. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, no. Table to November 3rd.
I'm sorry, correction, that date's November 7th.
Number 7.
November 7th.
Number 7. So, we need a motion again, or we did?
I'll correct my motion to be November 7th.
Item number 3, consideration to approve resolution in honor of Josh Reddick. We are not having a resolution, we will read Mr. Reddick hopefully this through with his World Series championship. Thanks to the Yankees, I think they had to finish that. I think he's going to still play. Yep.
First pitch is 5:08. First pitch is 5:08.
Okay. So you've already started. So we won't read that tonight, but we'll go ahead and approve the resolution. You have it before you, make a motion to approve it, then we'll read it when Mr. Reddick stands here.
Make a motion that we approve the resolution as presented.
Motion by Mrs. Jones, second by Mr. Floyd, to approve the resolution as presented. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, no. And it carries. We've already taken item number 4 with our agenda approval. So we'll go to item number 5. Consideration to approve a change order with Lavender and Associates.
Yes, sir. We've come before the board regarding this particular contract. In this particular case, this change order is for some appliances. As the attorney has discussed before, end user has to pay sales tax if it's a contractor. However, we pull these out and do that installation ourselves. Then we can save the sales tax on that, but there's certain stipulations. And so in this particular case, we feel like our staff can do that. And so we're pulling the $6,000 out. We will then pay for those items ourselves, and the installation will be done by ourselves.
And that's alternative number 1.
Yes, sir.
Any questions for Ms. Joanne or any discussion? Hearing none, do you have a motion for alternative number 1?
Make a motion to approve alternative 1.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Deloach, second by Mr. Kiefer, to approve alternative number 1. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, no. And it carries. Item number 6, consideration to approve a resolution to amend the 2017-2018 fiscal year budget, water and sewer.
Yes, sir. In this particular case, as you recall, we did refinance our GEFA loans. In that refinance, we had $8 million that we secured to be able to do the additional construction in water and sewer. At this time, we have already engaged within the old Augusta line, and we'll be paying ourselves back. So I wanted to go ahead and make this budget amendment to make sure that that was within our budget, since we did that after we approved our budget for the current year. And additionally, we'll be doing some looping, and so I wanted to make sure that this particular budget item was within our current approvals.
Sounds good. We may have to go back and still amend a couple of these items, just like possibly the
That's correct.
things that we're working on.
This is to get us started and to go ahead.
Have a budget approval before you can spend the money in this. So-
That's correct, sir.
So, any questions for Ms. Joanne? Can I have a motion for alternative 1 to approve this?
Make a motion to approve alternative number 1.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Roach, second by Mr. Deloach to approve alternative number 1. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. And it carries. Item number 7, consideration to approve a resolution to amend the 2017-18 fiscal year budget, water travel.
Yes, sir. In this particular case, this is our general budget amendments. Has to do with moving the travel into the different departments from Department 15. In addition to that, the board recently approved the mini excavator, so we're making that budget amendment along with the lift stations. If you recall last year, The board approved that $211,000. We did not get that technically done by the close of last year. So all of those particular invoices have come in this year. So we're making that same budget amendment in the current year that the board has already approved to handle that. And then, of course, the board approved purchase of the sheriff's vehicles. So we're actually putting the proceeds from that capital lease into the budget along with the expenditures that'll run through it.
Very good. So alternate one is to approve the amendment, budget amendment as presented. Any questions from Mr. Lake? Any discussion? Any motion for alternative number one?
Make a motion to approve alternative number 1.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Kiefer, second by Mr. Deloach to approve alternative number one. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carries. Thank you. Item number 8, consideration to approve a release and settlement agreement between Tommy L. Exley Sr. and Thomas L. Exley Jr., South Effingham Sand LLC, and Use Now LLC, Effingham County Board of Commissioners.
Mr. Chairman.
I think we've got our questions, have some comments. Mr.
Yeah, everything's resolved. This is a release and settlement agreement that resolves a claim related to an existing water and sewer agreement with Tommy L. Exley Sr., Thomas L. Exley Jr., South Effingham Sand LLC, and Use LLC. And basically, the Exley parties or the predecessors made a $3.5 million payment to the county, and this settlement agreement provides for repayment. The repayment terms will be $450,000 paid October 24th of this year, another $450,000 payment on or before July 16, 2018. The remaining balance will be paid by water and sewer credits against cost recovery fees, and that credit amount is 55%. This agreement will supersede all other agreements and will terminate in 10 years, or if the balance is paid before 10 years, it will terminate at that point. The extent of it's 10 years, whether it's paid back or not. We had a slight revision to be made. I spoke to Mr. Exley about it. The settlement agreement references a payment of $3,545,700, and that was a mistake. It should read $3,500,000.
Yes.
So I think Mr. Exley is here. If he'll come up and just state on the record that he agrees with that change.
Good evening. Yes, I agree with the
State your
change.
name.
Thomas L. Exley Jr., and I do agree with the change.
Thank you, Mr. Exley.
Thomas, appreciate it. Yeah, I appreciate you working with us. If it's good for both, we get rid of the long-term, ongoing, up to 20 years obligation and settles it up early. It helps you guys and helps us too. So,
Tom's a great worker, county commissioner that has a listening heart. Thank you.
appreciate you working with us. Any questions for our attorney or discussion?
The attorney may have stated it, but I didn't hear it, so just in case, I just want to make reference that this stems back to contracts dating from like 2006, 2008.
Yes. It had been changed and amended, and it's confusing, you know, we got it resolved. Any other questions or discussion? Motion to approve the agreement that presented.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Loper, excuse me, Mr. Deloach, second by Mr. Loper to approve the agreement as presented. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. And it's done. Thank you very much. Number 9, consideration to approve to appoint Jason Ripley and Julie Dickey to the hospital board.
Mr. Chair, to pull back up, I think you stated approved as presented, I guess presented with the revisions.
With the revision,
Just to be
yeah,
clear.
we got that revision. I'm sorry. All right, Mr. Loach, will you accept that motion change
Yes.
as we advised by the attorney?
Yes.
And Mr. Loper, second.
Yes.
Okay, very good. All in favor still? Yeah.
Aye.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Lee. It's the signs. It's messing up my head. Appointment. Number 9, consideration to approve to appoint Jason Ripley and Julie Dickey to the hospital board.
Yes, Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. If you recall, I brought it to you all a couple of meetings back, that we received a request from hospital CEO requesting these individuals be appointed in these positions. I'd like to point out that they will be fulfilling the unexpired terms for the 2nd District and the 4th District, that being February 2018 for the 4th District and February 2020 for the 2nd District.
So the 4th district is February 18.
Yes,
Or the April, okay.
And then the second district is when?
the 2nd District would be February 2020.
Mine will be in February 2018.
Yours will be 2018.
To be clear, are we nominating or appointing?
You are nominated.
We presented them, they accept or come back to us for more.
Yeah, you are nominating, but these recommendations were made by hospitals.
That's right.
Okay.
So assume they all agree when they vote.
Correct.
Very good. So alternative one is to approve. 2 citizens submitted. They have a motion for alternative one.
Make a motion that we approve these 2 names as submitted.
Second.
Mr. and Mrs. Jones, second by Mr. Kiefer. To approve the names submitted. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. Number 10, consideration to approve to amend the rules of procedure for the Effingham County Board of Commissioners.
Mr. Chairman, the board has requested the staff to include within the staff report a recommendation to approve or deny the item being presented to you at each agenda meeting, You do have rules of procedure in place, and under those current rules of procedures, we have added under preparation, F, which will now read, all agenda items must be accompanied by a staff report which includes details about the item being presented for consideration or approval by the board. This report must contain the recommendation by staff, i.e. to approve, deny, table, remove, whatever the request may be. This will now be added to your rules of
And
procedure.
for the record, it's pretty much what we've been doing, it's just we didn't have a policy to say
We
that.
didn't have a policy to say that, and there were times when we don't
when it
have
was convenient to write a recommendation, there wasn't one. And I often ask for this, so I finally asked to make it a policy.
Seems good. Something a couple times I've asked, what's the staff recommendation, but that's good to know. Okay, good change, I appreciate that. Any other questions, discussions?
We recommend
We have a motion to approve all number one, which is to, we got to do it.
Make a motion to approve all number 1.
I second.
Motion by Mr. Lopez, second by Mrs. Jones. Number one, all in favor say aye. All opposed, no. Carries.
I appreciate you giving a recommendation.
You're very welcome, sir.
So see, as of tonight, even the Josh Reddick proclamation would have required a recommendation.
It's good.
Just make your move.
We have number 11, that we added, consideration to approve the chairman and an alternate to accept the annuity quote for the defined benefit plan. Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir. If you recall, several weeks ago, we asked for your approval for this. In CBIZ's review of the quotes, they realized that a post-death benefit was not included within the quotes. That is for, and I clarified today, Wesley, it is for approximately 38, 39 individuals.
It's very reasonable.
And in your other question, what she replied was, it is a group contract of individual annuities, and no, there would be no residual coming back. With those two things answered, that particular quote, we believed would be somewhere between 1.3 and 1.5 million. With this change, we're asking that you raise that limit up to 1.8 so that the chairman and or vice chair could initiate the approval of that quote.
Just to be clear, we did, I took the debt benefit, the buying future value of that, it seems very reasonable.
Correct.
It's accurate.
Of the 1.8.
Up to 1.8, yes, ma'am.
So the motion is to allow the chairman and one alternate to approve up to 1.8 annuity.
Either one of you,
Either one of us, right?
yes.
Either one. All in favor, do you have a motion?
I'll make a motion. Don't we want a motion to be chairman or vice chairman? Or do we want to say we're alternate?
The previous one, we said chairman or vice chairman. So let's
That's
do
it,
that.
I'll answer that.
Correct.
I'll make a motion that we approve the chairman or the vice chair to approve up to 1.8 on this.
Second.
Chair or vice chair. Made motion, Mr. Jones, second, Mr. Loper. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, no. It carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
I believe that completes our agenda items tonight.
I
So
have one question. I just want to make sure, on the item number 3 with the resolution, that what we did was the amended resolution that we worked on Friday, correct? Okay, I just want to make sure.
Yes, sir, and it includes the road readings.
We just, there was some correction on the facts.
It does, and it's nicely mounted.
it looks good. If I have a voice, we might have to read it tonight. We'll get Mr. Deloach, he has a good deep voice.
Mr. Chairman, one thing on number 4, new business number 4, we tabled, but we didn't table to a date. Are we tabling it to the 7th or?
The 7th would be fine, Mr. Chairman, if you guys.
7th of November.
That's why I want to do it anyway.
I know, I thought about that actually, yeah.
No problem. I appreciate it. Thanks for keeping me straight. Okay, we'll move to our administrative reports and we'll start with Mr. Davis. And you might want to do some of these staff. I see that.
Yes, sir, we have hired a new grounds and turf superintendent. We're excited to have him. He started yesterday. It's Mr. Seth Ziegler. He will stand up and be recognized there. He comes from the city of Rankin. He was the Lost Plantation turf superintendent down there. And he has over 20 years of experience in the industry, and he's going to be taking care of our pride and joy down at the new sports complex.
You have your board.
Glad to have you aboard.
We're looking for beautiful checkered fields, perfectly cut, no grass sticking up, no gravel spots.
We'll be giving your cell phone number to the citizens.
That's right. Our expectations aren't near as high as the citizens. So no pressure, but we good to have you aboard. I had the pleasure of working with Mr. Ziegler. Saw what he did at the golf course, turned it around. So we're looking forward to working with you.
And Mr. Chairman, we've had a very productive last couple of weeks. I went with Commissioner Loper to the Coastal Regional Commission that he so chairs at this moment. So it was very informational. I got to meet a lot of colleagues from the state Department of Economic Development and started reaching out for different connections and relationships there from a different perspective down here. I attended the State of the Ports and an event for Representative Burns, Representative Hitchens, and Senator Hill as well the last couple of weeks. I visited with the City of Springfield at their City Council meeting and the City of Guyton at their City Council meeting, and I'll be going to the next City of Lincoln meeting that's coming up soon. A couple of things, exciting news that just happened today that I kind of put a teaser out to you earlier, but basically we got notification from GDOT with a notice to proceed on right-of-way acquisition for the Effingham Parkway. Mr. Newberry has done some preliminary work to make sure that our responsibilities at the county are ahead of the game, and we're ready to do title and closings when they come our way. The rec complex is coming along nicely. It should be done in the next week and a half or so. Their landscaping is left, and it really looks good. The parks are in. They've got some mulch and stuff to put down around them, but the fields look fantastic. We've been meeting with the Josh Reddick Foundation on some of the plans for the new Miracle Field Stadium. We also had a meeting with planners who we have agreed in terms. We will have an MOU at the next meeting for you to bring a public Wi-Fi system at the new park. And they'll be providing that with high-speed fiber optic into the system there that we'll also be able to use our point-of-sale system with. So we're excited about that. They're also going to donate a year's worth of service for the park. So we're moving forward with hiring a new facilities maintenance worker. I think Mr. Ryan has already selected a person today. He's been doing a lot of hard work. We've kind of tasked him with cleaning up a lot of our facilities and doing new things. They have torn down the rest of the building at the old prison. We've kept the chimneys there. We'll probably put a plaque recognizing that. So good things happening there. We've met with some folks about looping the water system, and we've put some requests out for proposals on that. So we should be bringing that to you at the next board meeting as well, with a engineering contract for that. And one of the things I did want to point out, I met with our building official, Mr. Parr, earlier today, and we were talking about the building permits, and I wanted to kind of let you all know that we're up 22% year over year in building permits, so growth is coming to the county. Some of our past inventory is starting to get filled and utilized, so it's an exciting time, and we should be really realizing that in tax dollars over the coming budget. So we're excited about that. So I've got IT working on a pilot program for our management software that I've spoken to all of you about. And hopefully we'll be rolling that out before the end of this year, but we're testing some different softwares to make sure we get the right one. So, and that's all I've got.
Any questions for Mr. Davis for you on the board?
I left one more. We're going to have a solid waste contract for the board for the November 7th meeting as well.
November 7th.
Okay. Any other staff?
I can go over what you have there, and it's just monthly reports for EMS for the prison. Your financial report for September is also there. A reminder, it has been on your calendar, it will be on your weekly calendar. The visual that Victim Witness puts on for Domestic Violence Month will be October 30th at 5:30, and they will do it at the courthouse steps at the Judicial Complex. So if you're able to attend. And Mr. Chairman, we discussed earlier the planning board meeting time. Would you like to leave that conversation on the board?
Y'all covered that. Thank you. Let's do that. Does any other staff have any comments or reports tonight about the meeting?
Mr. Chairman, we've recently, the last week or so, had some concern about the current noise ordinance. It has a section in there dealing with construction hours. In the ordinance, it states Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. And does not permit any construction to happen on weekends or after those hours. If it's y'all, the board's decision, or would like to see this amended or removed, I have a copy of our existing ordinance, and the city of Pooler has a section in their ordinance that would allow work on the weekends, as long as it was under the normal thresholds and certain hours of operation. It's well written, and I have copies of those also if you would.
And for clarification purposes, the county's always allowed construction to go on in the week and the weekends, period. Kind of the way the ordinance is written is a problem. And the sheriff's department, they actually texted me this weekend when they received a call, because they've always determined it based on, there's a noise level that has to exceed for the decibel, but the way it's written, it's not real clear. So basically, we just need to clarify what our position is, because there's always been, continues to be, work on the weekends. We just need to clarify the ordinance. So,
Where is this taking place? I mean, did you say?
in every subdivision in Effingham County, anywhere there's a home building, if you're building a house, you know.
I wasn't aware that we didn't allow noise in construction.
The way it's written in our ordinance now, it prohibits construction, demolition, repairs.
Which wasn't the intent.
No. And we have an ordinance that would regulate four houses down.
It would completely apply to existing residents, and they don't even understand that part. But again, it was supposed to be at a certain noise level, and then had the sheriff's department really determine that level. You know, so it just needs to be rewritten.
And Mr. Davis had also talked about possibly looking at the noise ordinance is not in our, it's not under our environmental section outside of our zoning ordinance, but Mr. Davis would like us to look at reviewing our entire zoning ordinance and get some input from possibly ACCG as we move forward.
That sounds good. I think you're here, the board would like to address it on a larger scale, that'd be fine, but we do definitely take care of us.
I think you're going to try to put the noise ordinance on the next agenda, correct? Yes. Yeah, but I think the zoning, as far as that goes, yeah, as far as we're concerned, staff has start working on that and working on these things that you.
What kind of time frame we talking about making these?
I can have some options for you for the next meeting, whether or not to completely pull that out and just use our existing table that gives hours and decibel levels, or amending it to permit some work on it.
So one thing I do want to clarify, because there was actually work stopped for that particular day. So if we're going to have it on our next agenda, does it have to have a second reading? Okay, so it's going to be a month. It's going to be a month. Like that.
You will Sundays be 7 to 6 as well?
Well, we have to see.
Okay, go ahead.
That'll be determined.
Yeah, I'll give you some options in my staff presentation.
Options are good.
Very good. Any other staff? Any other? We might want to look at planning we did a joint meeting with them. This was a long time ago. Might be good. to
Like
look
a
at.
quarterly meeting, you know?
We used to do it bi-monthly.
Just do a quarterly.
We did quarterly bi-monthly when we had a lot of stuff going on together, but probably at least get together a couple, 3 times a year just to make sure we're together. So you might look, maybe as you're talking to the other cities, see if we can pick a day and come up with some options for the next meeting, and we'll set something up.
Yes, sir.
I think the last time we left, the municipal gathering, I think we said we would host it because it's been hosted by others for the last 2 or 3 times.
Bring it time.
Yeah. So we might want to host it this time. And then, what Ms. Johnson was talking about, we were looking like tonight, we're going to, in about 3 or 4 minutes, we're going to finish this meeting. We've got an hour and 15 minutes to wait for zoning. And I don't know of anything, we have an executive session agenda to do tonight, so we'll have a brief discussion about possibly moving our zoning to 6 o'clock. So that a night like this, we can always stop, go to it if the meeting goes long.
Yeah.
But it keeps us from having to hang around when we got really bad colds and we like to go home.
We used to never hear from them when we were here till midnight, right? All the time.
But you're so blue and efficient right now. So
That's right.
Is that, how does the board feel about it? Anybody have any issue with maybe going to a 6 o'clock public hearing, just advertising it very clearly? So we could always, if someone doesn't show up, because they're not used to the change for the first couple of meetings, we could, if they're here by the time we finish, we can still address it.
Most people aren't going to have that many zones that they can come one time for.
And it's still after work hours, so it makes it easy for them.
How do we have the time listed now? Is it under policies and procedures? Is it under an ordinance? How do we
It's
have it?
under our rules of procedure
Okay.
that were approved tonight, so we can amend that. But RC and I coordinated, it is not listed in any of our ordinances as a time. It just says the fourth Monday of each
Okay.
month.
So it doesn't need 2 readings, we can just put it on an agenda and vote to change it.
And at our planning board meeting, the chairman of the planning board states the date and time of the August meeting that these items will be heard, as well as letters go out to the applicant and residents. So,
And isn't your planning board meeting earlier? Isn't it like a?
our planning meeting is 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
So we're going to do, make sure that's communicated there, we'll do it through our letters.
Actually, less confusing than the next meeting will be at 6.
Same time.
Yeah. So we'll just put that on the next agenda to vote and can announce it.
So we can do that for November, second meeting in November, we'll plan it to be, is there time to do that? You got it.
You're,
I should have time.
I don't think any letters should have gone out at this point, so, yeah.
All right, so we'll, if the board's agreeable, we'll plan to have that then. The other item that some of you, since we got a little time, we'll discuss this as well. We talked about having a day meeting and an evening meeting. Is there any interest in that? It doesn't matter, Reggie and I, we can choose which 8 hours we work. Some of you can't be as here flexible during the day, but
We were talking to do it a little earlier.
Yeah,
Like I said, meetings are only going about an hour.
I think more citizens are to come to the meetings, having them in the evenings like we have them. A lot of citizens complain when you have them in the middle of the day. Like they even felt we were having them trying to have them at a time, they couldn't attend, so.
I'm good either way.
Mine is spring, they're starting maybe at 4. As long as, the only thing is these 8, 9, 10 o'clock meetings, but we haven't had those lately, so.
Mhm.
I think this will help change the planning board.
I think we have a well-oiled running machine at this point.
Well, you want
We
to,
can revisit it.
we'll just go with the zoning change for now, and then we'll revisit the meeting and see how it's going. And, you can check with some constituents, see if anybody have any issue with that. Might be, I think here's some concern is everybody has board meetings all the time. I do. I'm not saying boards I'm on as a chairman. And if you give it the night back, kind of get choir practice in there and your elders meeting on Wednesday night, and board meetings. So it's always nice to get another night back at home.
Well, I mean, I actually suggested 3 o'clock. Again, I don't know if the public, again, if it's
3
important,
o'clock,
that's going to be
3
there.
o'clock is most sure, people can get on, get here.
If we're gonna leave it where it is right now, but I think that's some of the issues that some of us are involved in so many other things. It might be nice to get one night back, if we can. But just think about it and talk to constituents, and we'll come back and visit. From there, we'll look at the zone change.
And just for clarification, you're only talking the first meeting of the month, right? Not
If
both.
you made a change like that, the first meeting would say start at 4, and the second meeting of the month would start at 5 as normal. And that may get confusing. You can say you start at 4 and you start at 5. So having meetings going pretty much about an hour, it might be good to do at 5. We still get our evening back. It's not going to go to 8, 9 o'clock.
Just keep the agendas tight.
That's
There
right.
you go. And conversation.
You don't need to have one at one time.
Everybody's not fine, it doesn't take hours.
That's right. Well, I appreciate this board and how well you work together with each other. We don't always agree, but it's been very, my first 9, almost 10 months experience has been very professional in your parts, and I appreciate it. The encouragement and support you're giving me, helping me work through these agendas. Okay. Well, I don't know if you have the business, anybody else? Board commission?
I'll update everybody on the Veterans Day program coming up November 11th at 11 a.m. 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. I think it's on Saturday. It'll be at the Veterans Park.
11, 11, 11.
11.
Special time.
Well, I'll just make note that I talked to Administrator Davis, and he is working on the flooding issues in Westwood and South Shore. So we've got some information coming on that.
Very good.
Sorry to put that in my update.
That's okay.
That's okay. Did you ever hear back from EOM on that reuse water?
No, not yet.
Okay.
How about all the paving projects done that were scheduled for this year?
All but one in Westwood. Because of the flood.
I've got comments over my district.
What about any of our striping projects?
Well, we're talking about the Sykes contract there, the Sykes Brothers contract. Not all of the SPOS projects, no.
I've been getting a complaint. I don't know if y'all been getting it as well about restriping on this.
See, I've had several calls about it.
And I've looked, it's pretty.
We approved a group of brothers, what's that, from Hillman,
Yeah.
Brown.
They The LMIG projects are also not done yet also. I was just referring to the resurfacing of sites.
So the structure on Augusta between, basically between, because we did above Fort Howard Road fairly recently, but from Fort Howard Road south to getting close to the county line, it's just getting more.
So if it's not already in our current LMIG or in our SPOS, that's something we used to make it up for the next budget. So we have all. Look at, let's see, look at the portion.
I don't know, what did y'all think? Y'all been probably hearing the same thing I have.
I need to look at what we did we complete what we approved already or not?
None of the roads that I have in my district, they have not been restriped. And I just know if we pick out one, it's going to be a higher cost.
Yeah, I'm actually keeping it, but we need to get it in line, you know, next in line, you know, after.
Give him, I'll take it.
So you want to take a look at that and see, remind us again what we are restriping at the next meeting maybe, and then
Yes, sir.
what's the opportunities for looking at Augusta next year or whatever. Okay.
And if I could, we can come up with a realistic time frame, relative, so just so I can relay that information, and we'll try to work towards it.
And I've been working with the LMIG issue and things, because we've got projects from FY16 and FY17 that still need to be done. And they've got state dollars on it, and so I'm working on moving them forward.
Anyone else in the commission, anything you want to bring up? You got a little time.
I don't have any.
All right.
Do we need to have an executive session at all between? No?
And we are going to take a recess for about an hour and 7 minutes. And I know you're going to all hang around. Sign is only meeting. We'd love to have you come back and join us.
Mr. Chairman, there's food in the conference room for the board members.
They don't do so, that's soon.
Come back out of recess. We're back in order again. And I believe we have one item on the agenda to take care of, and that's the approval of executive session minutes for October the 3rd. Can I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve the executive session minutes from October 3rd, 2017.
Motion by Mr. Kiefer. Second by Mr. Deloach. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Executive session minutes are approved. I sign all of these.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
We got a couple more minutes, ladies and gentlemen, so we'll have to wait for the official time.
The suspense is trying to build it up a little bit.
It might be, but people are not going to speak again.
You did a nice job.
But I'm with you, brother. I like to start. We start 2 minutes early, maybe by the time we get going. We're just going to be here. Mr. Lee, can I go ahead and begin at 6:59? Come back and keep reading, we'll be good to go.
He's like, don't put me on the spot with that.
Another minute.
On the record, Mr. Lee says, okay.
I have 7 o'clock, so we're good.
Oh, very good, all right. We're going to open our planning board meeting tonight, or item number 1 of the planning board, for public hearing is Planning board recommends approving an application by Laurel Mill Incorporated for a sketch plan for 9 lots in Winfield subdivision located off Highway 20, map number 352L, parcel number 1J in the first district.
That's Highway 30. You got plenty of them, it's Highway 30.
Yep, you're right. Thank you.
Typos, I am imperfect. Stephanie Johnson, I am imperfect.
So Highway 30, I think the way folks there.
Glad you don't have to telephone. Glad you don't have to telephone.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, Laurelville Incorporated is requesting approval for the sketch plan of 9 lots. So a month or so back, y'all had approved a PD amendment to change this property from a multi-family use to single-family use and multi-family use. The sketch plan before y'all is 9 lots for the single-family. Really, the only construction that will be done is the extension of the water line and the sewer line. The road is already there, so staff and the planning board have recommended approval.
We're not doing a public hearing on this, this is just approving the sketch plan, right? Okay, so any questions or comments from the board? Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Floyd to approve this, and second by Mr. Deloach. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. That carries. Item number 2, planning board recommends approving an application by Gloria A. Kirkman. She's on 5 acres located at 483 Harry Lindsay Road from AR1 to AR2, map number 250, parcel number 3 in the 3rd district.
Mr. Chairman, Ms. Kirkman requesting this rezoning from AR1 to AR2 to create another lot, I believe for her daughter to build a home on the site. Everything's in order. I believe she's in the process of getting a survey done. Staff and planning board had recommended approval.
So we're open public hearing on this item. Anyone wanting to speak for this rezoning? You don't have to, but if you'd like to come to the mic and speak for it, you can.
I have a big, terrible accent, I don't know if you will understand it. I was waiting for my daughter.
If you can make comments, go ahead and come to the mic so we can hear you, and you state your name for the record, please, ma'am.
Oh, good afternoon. I was waiting for my daughter so she can speak up for me. Would you give her a few minutes? She's on the way. Because I don't know if you can understand me.
Sure, you wanted to speak for this item?
No, my daughter is on the way, and you will understand her better than me. She's on the way.
If there's no opposition, we may move forward. If there's opposition, is that okay, Mr. Newberry? If there's opposition, just move forward.
You can hold the,
There may not be anybody speaking against this rezoning, so it may just pass. Do you understand me?
A little.
It may be okay, we may not need her.
Oh, okay.
Well, simply no problem.
All right.
I don't think there's nobody here to speak against it, so.
Oh, okay, great.
So we'll find out right now. Is anyone in the audience wanting to speak against this rezoning?
Yeah, even my neighbor came and visit me to find out what I was gonna do, and they said they are fine with that. That's it? Thank you. What is next to do? What is next to do?
you'll just need to bring that survey in once you get it surveyed,
Uh-huh,
and then it will get signed off on.
okay. May I leave now? Oh,
When your daughter arrives, she can talk to Mr. R.C. because we'll be through in just a minute.
yes, sir.
And he'll help her with what the next step is.
All right, thank you.
Thank you for being here. Seeing no opposition, we'll close this public hearing. Any motion?
Make a motion to approve with planning board and staff recommendation.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Deloach, second by Mr. Loper to approve staff recommendations and board recommendations. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. You are approved.
Got to have a second reading.
I'm getting that, so.
Okay.
To help communicate.
Okay.
Second reading, consideration to approve the second reading of an application by Gloria A. Kirkland to rezone 5 acres located at 43 Harry Lindsay Road from AR1 to AR2, map number 250, parcel number 3, in the 3rd district. Motion?
Make a motion to approve the second reading.
Second.
Motion, Mr. Deloach, second, Mr. Loper, to approve the second reading. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. It carries. Item number 4, the planning board recommends approving the application by Bill Harris for a variance to reside in an RV while constructing a home for a period of no longer than 9 months, located at 1326 Little McCall Road, map number 346, parcel number 12 in the 4th district.
Mr. Chairman, like you just stated, Mr. Harris is requesting to live in a camper while he's constructing his home. Mr. Harris had asked for a 9-month time frame. On my recommendation that the board had previously approved these for a 9-month time frame. However, Mr. Stansel, planning board had recommended 6 months, and that if he needs an extension, he can come back to the planning board for an extension.
So the recommendation is to change this to a 6-month
That's the planning board.
That was the
Planning.
planning board.
I don't know why you would make somebody come back
Just 6 months in the middle.
and understanding the building process depending on the size of the house. I think reasonable, 9 months is reasonable. So I'm
Yeah,
fine with
to
the process of having to come back.
Okay, so we'll go right now with the recommendation and pursue this.
Other than stress.
Other hearing
other than
items.
stress.
Okay. Anyone want to speak for this? Anyone?
So I'm Wayne Harris, so I'm actually the one that's building the home. And when I turned all the paperwork in, it was my dad's property. And just last week, we got all the paperwork done, the survey's been done. I got the gift deed for that 5 acres, so everything should be good. I've got my building permit turned in, so there's no issues. There was concern before, well, that, I might just want to try to live in that camper. Well, I can promise I don't want to live in that camper not one day more than I have to. So,
Mr.
go ahead,
Harris,
Mr.
you asked for 9 months.
Right.
And the board said 6 months. I mean, do you need 9 months?
Well, I probably wouldn't, but at the same time, if it was 6 months and a day, or 2, or 3,
Well, you'd have to go back through the same thing, and it's useless if it wasn't for. So
Anyway, if y'all don't mind doing the 9 months to do that, and it won't be anything like that long. I don't have any idea that will. It's already.
Sometimes rain, we have a month of rain.
You never know. You never know.
Anyway,
But it's already. I'm doing the contracting myself, so it's already shut me down on the hunting season for this year, and I don't intend for it to affect my fishing next summer. So I plan to be done before then.
If we give you 9 months, then you do what you want.
That's exactly right. I'll be done, and that'll give me plenty of time. Yes, sir.
Anyone else speaking for? Anyone in the audience speaking against this rezoning tonight? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing and entertain a motion.
I make a motion to go ahead and give the variance and go do it for the 9 months what he asked for.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Loper, second Mr. Deloach, with the variance for 9 months. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. And it carries.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
That camper will be motivation to finish as soon as you can.
Absolutely. I've had to do it before for moving purposes, moving around, and I'm not staying there one day longer than I have to.
We've done it ourselves.
She did wonderful. She got it approved.
Oh, I'm sorry, thank you.
She did
I was trying to whisper.
Who do I need to speak to? I'm sorry.
At the end of the meeting.
Yeah, we're almost done.
Almost done. At the end of the meeting, come see Mr. R.C.
Okay.
2 minutes.
2 minutes, maybe less. Second reading, consideration to approve the second reading of an application by Bill Harris for a variance to reside in an RV while constructing a home for a period no longer than 9 months, located at 1326 Little McCall Road, map number 346, parcel number 12 in the 4th district.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Second reading.
Motion Mr. Loper, second Mr. Deloach to approve the second reading. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carries. I see no other business. Motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn. Second.
Motion Mr. Loper, second Mr. Keeper to adjourn the meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And we are adjourned.